All right, I'm back. Now I'm going to do the prediction for the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors. This will be the second video. I'm going to post these two videos on my secondary channel for reaction. And I'm going to put these two videos on my fitness channel. And we'll see how these turn out. And then if people love these sports videos, then in the future you got something to look forward to. That means I'll do one on the NFL when we get to the NFL season. Because I know people are going to be wanting those videos in the future. But we're on basketball, so let's stick on basketball. All right. Now, the Houston Rockets have surprised me. I mean, I had a feeling that from the beginning of the season, they were going to win the most basketball games. They were going to go on that 25, 30 game winning streak or whatever it was. And to see Chris Paul, James Harden, and I think Trevor Ariza, that's three, and I think one more player on the Houston Rockets team. But those individuals play like a well-oiled machine. They play strong defense, powerful offense. They won the most basketball games. They beat Golden State twice in the season. Something that I and other people did not see coming. Now, with that being said, the question that everyone has to ask themselves, can an old Chris Paul do what he could not done for the last 12 or 13 years of his NBA career? Can he win the third round and go to a place he hasn't been to in his whole career? Can he advance to an NBA Finals appearance? Now, Chris Paul is one of those tragic stories that we call the best basketball player to never win it all. For so long, Chris Paul has had this problem. Back when he was playing with the New Orleans Hornets, I remember back when he was drafted to that team, that it was always, he's the best player, but he can't get out the first round. Like 7 years, he couldn't get out the first round. Then when he saw that he could not win with that team, he was now, I think, 8 years, 9 years in his career, and he still couldn't get out the first round. Then he found himself traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. And there we thought, okay, he's got a chance to do what has never been done before. We've got Chris Paul, we got DeAndre Jordan, we got Blake Griffin, we got the son Austin Rivers, we got JJ Redick, we got Jamal Crawford. We got a squad. We gonna kick ass. But unfortunately, 5 or 6 NBA seasons came and went, and the Clippers failed everyone's expectations. They lost to Golden State. They lost to Oklahoma City Thunder. They would struggle against teams like Portland Trail Blazers. And when they started to beat these teams, they still couldn't get past Golden State. Every time Golden State and the Clippers played, Golden State would always win all these games, and you would say to yourself, what is it about Clippers that just don't make sense to me? Like, I always got this feeling that, okay, you've been together for 5, 6 years. How come you can't get over the hump? And I always felt that it wasn't Chris Paul's fault. I always felt that he got a bad shake. Finally, he's been traded to the Houston Rockets. And I gotta say, it's the first time I've ever seen somebody like him get out of the first round, no trouble. Go to the second round, get out of the second round. Now, of course, the critics are gonna say, well, he didn't play anybody in the first round or in the second round, so that's why he advanced 2 rounds into the third round. Now, Chris Paul has the greatest challenge of his basketball career. If Chris Paul and the Houston Rockets can somehow summon up enough strength and energy to push the series from 5 games to 6 games to 7 games and try to force double overtime, not overtime, double overtime, Chris Paul and the Houston Rockets shall advance to the NBA Finals. Last time we saw the Houston Rockets in an NBA Finals was the 1994-1995 NBA season, where the Houston Rockets won back-to-back NBA championship titles. Now, this is a different Houston Rockets basketball team. Same organization, but new basketball players, new coach, new coaching staff. But everyone remembers they won 2 championships 2 years in a row in the post-Michael Jordan era, when Michael Jordan decided he wanted to go play baseball. But my point is, if Chris Paul and the Houston Rockets can somehow figure out how to play strong defense and powerful offense and extend the series past 5 games and push for a 6th game and push for a 7th game, and if they can beat Golden State in double overtime, the Houston Rockets will advance to the NBA Finals for the first time in 12, 13 years. And Chris Paul will finally have had something on his resume completed. Now, I know what a lot of y'all are going to say in the comment section when you see this video. Alexander, you know, I know, and The Undertaker knows the Golden State Warriors is going to finish this series in possibly 5 to 6 games. Why? Because there's Stephen Curry, there's Kevin Durant, there's Klay Thompson, there's Draymond Green. So how do you stop those guys? I mean, these guys are like at least 7 to 8 years younger than James Harden and Chris Paul. And my boy Trevor Ariza, who played once at Westchester High School, same high school I attended to, and went to UCLA College, these guys are towards the end of their NBA career. James Harden's got about 7 more years left in the tank. Trevor's got about 6 more years, and Chris Paul's got maybe 2.5 or 3 more years left in the tank. At some point, you'll have to break up this Houston Rockets team if this team doesn't get it together by next season. They got this season and probably next season to pull this off. Now, I know critics are going to say crap like, well, they did good this year, but can they do it 2 years in a row? And I feel like that Chris Paul needs to win to me, if I'm Chris Paul, I need to take the first 2 games from Golden State. You need to come in with that Allen Iverson mentality. Remember the 2001 NBA Finals when it was the Philadelphia 76ers and they were in the playoffs? The first round, they took out Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers in the first round. Second round, LeBron James had to take on Ray Allen and the Milwaukee Bucks, a young Ray Allen back then, against the Milwaukee Bucks. And then in the third round, it was Allen Iverson and the Philadelphia 76ers versus Vince Carter and those Toronto Raptors. And LeBron was a little kid at that point. And Allen Iverson won all 3 rounds, and Allen Iverson advanced to the 2001 NBA Finals against the world defending champion, the 2-time Los Angeles champions, Los Angeles Lakers. And Allen Iverson took a game 1 in overtime against the Lakers. Now, of course, Allen Iverson and the Philadelphia 76ers lost the series in 5 games. But the point was, if Chris Paul can come in there with an Allen Iverson mentality and take game 1 and game 2 from Golden State, and then try to go up 3-0 if they can help it, he's got a chance to do what's never been done before. That's if everything goes in the Houston Rockets' favor. But everybody knows Golden State's going to take the first 2 games because they're Golden State. So what's probably going to happen is Golden State's going to take games 1 and 2 because they're the 2-time defending NBA champs of the world. Houston would just have to go back home for games 3 and 4 back in Houston, and go right ahead and tie it up and make it 2-2. And then what's probably going to happen is Golden State's going to take game 5. If for some reason Houston does win game 6 and we're looking at a 3-3 lead, then we'll see a 7-game series. Now the problem is game 7 will be back in Houston. And if Golden State takes game 7 against Houston, Golden State's going back to the NBA Finals to do something that only a few teams has been able to do in NBA history. That's win 4 championships. Oh, in this case, I won't say 4, but they'll have a chance to win 3 championships in 4 years. Last team that actually did that was the Los Angeles Lakers back in, I think, the mid-60s, mid-70s, somewhere around in there. They became the first team to either not that team, but the one with George Mikan and those Lakers. Yeah, George Mikan and those Lakers from the early 60s. They became one of those teams to win 3 championships in 4 years. Golden State would have had repeated that history. So basically, to me, if Houston can knock off Golden State Warriors in 7 games, and then we can see something never seen before. We could see the Boston Celtics versus the Houston Rockets. That'd be something I think everyone would want to see. But and the Undertaker know, we're probably gonna see Golden State Warriors versus Cleveland again. So keep your fingers crossed. Now, who wins this series and why? Unfortunately, I just don't see the Houston Rockets winning a 7-game series unless, and I say unless, Chris Paul scores 40 to 50 points. Now, at his age, he might be able to get 30, 35 points. But for him to knock this team off, Chris Paul got to go balls to the wall. He got to be in that Allen Iverson mentality. He got to drop 40 to 50 points. James Harden got to get off. James Harden got to drop 40 points. My boy Trevor Ariza got to have at least 25 points. He can't be scoring no 10 or 15 points. This is Golden State you're playing. So my boy Trevor got to drop at least 25 on it. And the rest of the team got to drop 25 on it. And have a combine of 110 or 120 points to knock off this team in 7 games. Otherwise, we're going to see Stephen Curry with 40 points. We're going to see Klay Thompson with 27 points. Draymond Green with 20. We're going to see Kevin Durant with 30 points. And that's what we're going to see throughout this whole entire series. And we're going to see Steve Kerr celebrating because Steve Kerr going to be shaking his head like, yep, we're going back to the finals again. So unless the coach from the Houston Rockets know how to figure out this defense, which I think he probably might have figured it out, but I need to see Golden State lose game 1 and 2 for me to say, yep, Houston's gonna make it. So if Houston can take games 1 and 2, they got a shot. But if I see Golden State take 2 games in their house and then turn around and take one of those Houston games, you know that old saying that they say at NASA, Houston, we have a problem? Yeah, we're going to be saying, Houston, what's going on in this NBA 3rd round? So we're going to see Golden State probably back in the finals again because all the stuff I just described, it's not possible for Chris Paul to pull off. If this was Chris Paul 10 years ago, yeah, Chris Paul could give me 40, 50 points. The Chris Paul today, he can only give me 25, 30 points, and it's going to take more than that to knock off the Golden State Warriors. So you got my take on the West Conference semifinals.